Hi, I'm Will.
And I'm Risa, and this is Talent Talk.
On today's show, we have the incredible and acclaimed singer, songwriter, producer, ZARNI DEVETTE. But before we get to our interview with her,
You have to check out her incredible talent.
Shouldn't you have a little more going for yourself by now? You're never gonna get to the top. Can't you figure it out? What do you think's so special about you? There's a lot of people doing what you do. You'll never be good enough anyhow. I would never say those words to someone else. I'd never talk to you the way I talk to myself. Wouldn't wanna cut you down, make you hurt like hell. I'd never talk to you the way I talk to myself, the way I talk to myself. Everything you got that's good is just a lucky strike. They're gonna find you out, it's just a matter of time. Why can't you do it more like she does? You're probably gonna mess it up. Honestly, why do you even try? I would never say those words to someone else. I'd never talk to you the way I talk to myself. Wouldn't wanna cut you down, make you hurt like hell. I'd never talk to you the way I talk to myself.
well, this is Will Nunziata, and once again, I'm joined by my better half, Risa Binder, for another edition of Talent Talk. And today's guest is a renowned artist, my goodness, the one and only ZARNI DEVETTE. Hello, ZARNI, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me, you guys.
When Risa told me about you, ZARNI, and then I went down the ZARNI rabbit hole, I was #grateful. And I have so many questions, but I know the lovely Risa has question numero uno.
ZARNI, you're incredible, and I guess I have so many questions too, but I don't know that we've ever talked about like what exactly like led you to Nashville. I have two questions, but let's start with that one. What brought you to Nashville?
Well, so I started out, playing music, playing gigs, as most songwriters do. And I was living in Austin, Texas at the time, playing probably like 4 or 5 nights a week, really crappy gigs, like $50 for like 4 hours to no people, lugging my piano up like 4 flights of stairs, like just terrible. It was a low point for me. And the reality that I kind of discovered was that I did not enjoy performing as much as I thought I did. And what I really, really loved was songwriting. And so I confided in one of my friends in Austin, and I was kind of just talking to her about like, I can't, this can't be my life. Like this is not what I always thought I would be doing. And she was like, well, what do you really love? Like, and I was like, just songwriting. I just want to write songs all day. And she's like, well, my friend Emily writes songs in Nashville and she gets like paid to do that. And I was like, hold the phone. That's a job that people can do. Where do I get one of those? So I basically, like, from that moment on, I was like, I couldn't unknow that bit of information. And I spent every waking hour and sleeping hour, honestly, investigating how to get, so it turns out it's you work for a publisher. And so I networked and just kind of like, started talking to people, and turns out I knew there were people like in my network, in my immediate network, that I went to Berklee with or whatever, that were working as staff writers, is kind of like the dated term for it, but were working. And so I got on the phone with people and I was just asking around, and one of my professors at Berkeley actually knew someone who knew a publisher who was starting his own company. And that company was called SNG Music. And anyway, I got a meeting with him, and he was a great writer himself. So we wrote together, and that was sort of like pseudo audition. But we hit it off. And then I'd say like a year later of sort of doing this publisher writer dance that you do, kind of like dating before you make it official. Yeah, so I came here after having signed that deal, which was, he called me when I was in a Mexican restaurant in Houston to officially offer me a deal. And I I was standing outside and the guys were valeting cars there. And I think they thought I was having like an aneurysm of some kind, because I was just, apparently I just kept going like, are you me? Are you? I kept swearing. I kept saying that. I just couldn't believe it. But yeah, I just felt it was just such a life-changing moment. So I went in and quit the teaching job that I had. I took this after-school teaching job. Yeah, and so that I just, and they were like, take your time getting here, you know, you don't have to move right away. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm already like 4 years too late on this job. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got here.
That's amazing. That's absolutely incredible. And also what I love so much about your journey, Zarni, is that I think there's a negative or just a preconceived notion that anyone who writes songs loves to perform. But the fact that you knew in your gut that there was something about performing that wasn't correct for you, but that there was something about birthing and being at 30,000 feet to create songs, either for yourself and for others, that gave you more joy. I just wanted to affirm, and I know Risa and I have talked about this offline and to many other artists who have been on similar journeys. Like, I think that's so incredible, but I'm also thinking about the young Zarnies out there who might be in a similar position and now have someone like you to look up to and be like, ooh, that is a lane I can take.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you saying that. It felt like a huge relief for me. And it didn't come with its own sort of mini form of grief too, because I had to let go of all these dreams I had, but it's just like your 16-year-old self sometimes decides what your life's going to look like in your mind before you know all this stuff. And then your 25-year-old self is like, well, the reality of that is not as enjoyable as I thought it would be. And and I just watched a lot of my friends who loved performing, like they would play to a hole in the floor. And my heart just wasn't in it. And frankly, I mean, my heart wasn't in it. And it's like, I'm taking up space in that part of the industry. If I'm not fully in it, I'm taking up space there. There doesn't need to be more people who are only half in it. Well, so I kind of removed myself from that. And I thought, I'll go where I'm fully in. Because the industry's hard enough. The last thing you need is yourself standing in the way.
Well, I have to piggyback on that, because like when you say you're fully in, you are so fully in. And I know that personally, me and so many other artists have benefited from the deepness of who you are and your songwriting. And I just have to ask the question, like, how do you stay inspired? Are you a title person? Where do you dig to find the ideas for yourself and for others, to be prepared for all of your rights? Just curious.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And thanks for saying that. That's really,
it's so true.
I guess I really do get inspired by ideas of all kinds. Like I like even in movies or in novels where there's a concept where I'm like, oh man, that is a cool idea. Like my book club just read Midnight Library, and I don't know if you've read that before, but the concept of that is like she's able to pick a book out of this library, and every book, it's like a magic library. Every book is a new life that she could have led. Like if she did some things differently, it's a new life. So it's just an idea like that is so cool to me. So I guess ideas kind of are at the core of it. Like to put it another way, like if I'm not in on the idea, I can't do anything else. I become useless. Like I don't really come up with good melodies. I don't have good lyrics. So that has to be there. And of course it's difficult because at this day and age, I mean, none of us are going to reinvent the wheel and say something completely unique that's commercial still. But I mean, there's to find a fresh take on something that has been said 1,000 times is the most exciting thing to me.
And also when I think about Zarni off of that as well, I think of all of the artists that you've been able to write for, you know, that you are able to work with these fresh talents that just with their essence and beings are already, before you even show up, they're already showing up to the table and stepping into their power as fresh versions of
Yeah.
individuals that have never been. These are all first-rate versions. I mean, one duo in particular that we love here at Talent Talk is Tiger Lily. I mean,
Yeah.
when in the fact that you are collaborating with the likes of artists like that, it's going to automatically come out the first of its kind. But the fact that they also have someone like you who not only places those stakes, but also knows what it's like as a performer to step down stage center and put it on when it matters. So I feel like you have so many tools in your tool belt that are able to be used with this lane that you've created for yourself.
Well, geez, I feel like you guys might be talking about a different person than
No,
me.
No,
no.
this is you. This is your life.
I feel so flattered. My goodness. I wish I could carry the two of you in these two pockets. And
We're diving in. Hold on.
And we'll be like coming out. Zarni, you're the best.
No, that's
How
really
we
great.
feel.
I mean, to take an artist like Tiger Lily that they come into the session and they know who they are as artists, they know what kinds of things they would say. You know, if there's one lyric, it's like, well, they might not say this version of it, but they might say a different version of it, and they know that. And so that's part one, is, you know, writing with artists that know themselves, that can in the room say, no, I don't think we'd say it like that. How helpful that is to someone like me. And then, yeah, I do think there's tremendous magic in the idea of, like, you know, I think, wouldn't it be cool if we did something with the phrase, I don't know who needs to hear this, blank, 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 blank. And then they're like, yeah, that would be, for two people to be excited about the same idea, I think is already means something, because that probably means other people will be excited about that idea. And then to hear their take on it, you know, was interesting to me. And I think, yeah, combining kind of experiences and things that make us tick. And it's funny when you're in a writing session, you know, when you get chills at the same moments about the same part of the song, that's also such a cool thing, which I know you and me have experienced together, writing together, Risa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just, and but I think it's really, that's why I like this job much better, is like, I am so good at championing people. I was not good at championing myself. I think there are some people who do that so well. I was not one of those people. So I like being able to be in the room with a Tiger Lily, and I can empathize with what it is that they're doing as artists, but I can also be their cheerleader and say, you guys are awesome. And I can say, yeah, that sounds great on your voice. You know, like that role is so much better suited for me.
I love it. Well, listen, we can ask you questions all day, Zarni, but there is one in particular that Risa and I have been waiting all but 12 minutes to ask. Zarni DeVette.
Your whole 12 minutes.
I said it wrong. I was getting so excited. DeVette.
Yeah,
Zarni
you got it.
DeVette, are you ready for game time?
I'm so ready.
Well, Zarni, it is your lucky day, because today's game is the questions game. Risa has her questions book in Nashville, while I am here in New York City without mine because she took it. No, I'm just kidding. I lost mine. But anywho, Zarni,
I love questions.
Go, Risa. Go for it, baby.
Okay. So basically, first of all, I need to know, between the number 1 and 300, that's a lot, right? Is there a number that stands out to you as a lucky number for you, or a number that resonates with you, and why?
I think that a lot of Christians would not enjoy this answer, but 33 has always been like a great number for me.
Yeah. Let's do it.
No, I'm so sorry.
And why has that been a great number? Just is there
I was
a
about
reason
to
or
say,
you-
why isn't it a good number for Christians?
Well, isn't it? It has some connotations.
I'm sorry for laughing. I'm
I
spiritual.
It's
But-
got some connotations. I don't know. Like 33 is like the devil's number or something. I don't know.
God bless.
know.
You're perfect, Zarni.
Okay, so
It's just the number. Literally, when I was 16, I was like, "That's my lucky number," and then I think I willed it into existence.
I
So,
love that.
I
Well,
love it.
Here's oh, this is fun. You'll
it's
like
gonna
this.
be the
Here's
word
number 33, and maybe we'll even do one more after this one. We'll have well. Number 33 is here's the question. You're going to spend a year abroad with no technological connectivity. Where do you go?
Paris.
Ooh.
Not even without a doubt.
Why?
Have you been before? Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it. I just love it. And it's cliche and what have you, but I don't know if either of you have been there, but it's just everywhere you look pretty and ornate, and love the food, and I don't know, I like the French people. Just Paris. Like
You've been a
it's the kind
bunch?
of place I've only been like 3 times maybe, but I've been in the dead of winter, I've been in spring and in summer, and I just love it. Like it's the
I love
place that
cheese.
sans technology. You could read a book, eat the cheese,
Risa,
and just be happy.
did you just like out of nowhere just say, I like cheese?
I did. I
I love you, Risa.
I
can't-
get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. I had a baby bell like a half an hour ago.
I can't.
Mm.
Zarni, you're amazing. Risa, she deserves another question. Go.
I know. Okay.
Another.
okay.
What's another lucky number for you, Zarni?
37.
Ooh.
37. Okay. Same page. What US city have you never been to but would really like to go to?
I would really like to go to Charleston. I've heard it's awesome. Never
I've
been.
heard- Yes.
And I would really like
Beautiful.
to go there.
So like
I've-
Americana and quaint, and there's
Yeah.
tradition to it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's what I like. I like all those things. Everything you just said, I love.
Well, we love you, Zarni, and all of your answers. Thank you for playing Game Time.
Thank you for being so awesome.
Sorry, I could ask you a million questions and probably will throughout our friendship, but I guess the last one for today is, I don't know if you do, I don't know if you like do vision boards or anything like that. You totally don't have to, but if you could see yourself like 3 years from now, Zarni, what would be a beautiful day for you 3 years from now? What would be a lovely day for you?
That's a really good question. And I'm very vision board person. Like I have mine that I made 5 years ago upstairs. Just quick side note, on that vision board, I took a picture of Liz Rose and who was next to her, Hillary Lindsay and Lori McKenna at the Grammys. And I forget whose face I cropped out. It was one of them. I just picked one of them and I put my face
Yes.
on top of one of their faces. Yeah, I'm very vision board person. But 3 years from now, perfect day, wake up, drink coffee or 2 or 3. I go into a writing session with an artist that's currently on the radio. Maybe I've had a number 1. Yeah, I would love to have had a number 1. 3 years is a long time. Hopefully by then I'll have had a radio number 1. Yeah, and I get to write with an artist that's about to release something. They've had some success. Then I go home spend some time with my son, who will then be 3 years old, I guess. My unborn child.
Yes.
Have dinner with my awesome husband. And then as we're driving home, I hear one of my songs on the radio. That'd be cool. That'd be like the greatest thing.
And then your husband surprises you with tickets that night to go to Paris.
Nice, Will.
Yes, and?
Clutch.
Yes, and?
Coming in clutch with the Paris. I love that.
Well, I can't wait for you to call me to tell me that you had that day, because I know it will be.
That's
So-
fantastic. I love that.
It's gonna happen
like-
for you.
I like how you asked that, because I feel like sometimes the vision board stuff, as much as people want to do that, it can get overwhelming to be like, where do you see yourself 3 years from now? Which is the way you ask the question. And like viscerally, I just physically, when I get asked that question, like you feel overwhelmed immediately.
Yes.
It's like, oh, there's so much pressure. Where do I see myself? Versus like one day to just distill it into like perfect day. Like
Yeah,
that
but
I can do. I can describe that more easily.
You
than
did it
like,
great.
where do you see yourself? But that's such a great way to ask that question. So
Well,
good.
Risa's the best. Risa's like, I mean, she's like, she's the oil in this machine that makes it run.
Oh.
I'm just the guy with the black hat, but
Not at all.
That's a theme for her in lots of areas of her life. I feel.
isn't it so true? Risa, get out. You're not in the room right now. I agree, Zarni, 5,000%. I think that she adds, I mean, we're all both empaths, but I love when we both get to meet artists like you, Zarni, who also to happen to be real humans of the planet who have done the work, continue to do the work. And, you know, when I think about you, I also cannot wait for the songs that aren't out there yet to soon to be #1 on the radio. I am curious if you wouldn't mind giving us maybe a little sneak peek of a song that isn't out there yet.
Sure, I'll just sing it for you a cappella, but
Okay.
I'm currently producing an artist named Zach Seabaugh. I think he's the bee's knees. Like he's got the coolest voice, nice kid. He's just got all the things. I shouldn't call him a kid. He's like a grown man, but he's amazing. Really love working with him. And we wrote the song called Love Made Us that I'm in the process of producing. It'll come out, I think, sometime next year. But yeah, it's called Love Made Us.
I love it. Take it away, baby.
Wow, just like snap it out. But the verse is like, love made us think before we speak. No more dishes in the sink. Yeah, it really made us think about someone else besides ourselves. Love made us break rules apart, stretch the limits of our hearts in that studio apartment. Yeah, we both grew more than we knew. And I know it didn't last, but it gave us something we can hold on to. Then the chorus goes, love made us a hell of a lot better than we would have been. Without it, we wouldn't know better. All the upsides and the rough nights and the times we still showed up. We thought we were making love, but maybe love made us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh my God. You're in, by the way, not only the beat, but like the lyric and the assonance. I mean, I got like chills, those internal rhymes. I mean,
Zarni doesn't.
you.
I'm speaking like she's not in the room, but
she's
like
a poet.
Zarni does not stop until it makes sense to Zarni and Zarni's brain. I'm in love with Zarni's brain. I love you, Zarni, as a person, but like I'm in love with your brain. Like it won't be finished until it's like a painting. She's also a painter, and it's a painting, and it's not going to be done until that last it has to be right. It has to be right. So it's always right.
Well, I hope I'm right. That's the only thing. I hope I'm right when I'm
You're right.
But,
well,
you guys have made this so you guys know how to make a gal feel great. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Zarni, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Talent Talk. Once again, Risa Binder, my better half, thank you. Zarni DeVette, you are an absolute incredible human and talent, and I am so grateful for the time you took to join us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful to you guys. Thank you.